If you've been following this channel for any amount of time, you know that I give out a lot of tips and tricks and different advice to help people enhance their sesh. And I feel like I've given out a pretty decent amount of advice, and people have told me that I've tremendously helped their seshes, made their seshes way better. They save money, they get higher, that kind of stuff. Well, recently a buddy of mine sent me a link and he told me that, bro, you got to give it up. Your tips and tricks in your videos will never be as good as this article. And I think that we just got to look at it together. So this is an article from a website called The Bustle, and it's 11 weed hacks for the resourceful stoner. Let's see what Elizabeth has to say. As fun as smoking weed can be, every frequent stoner knows that getting high isn't always as simple as we would like it to be. Grinders go missing, pipes break, Cottonmouth will always try to wreck your makeout sessions. What is this? And the lighters that were accounted for while you were grinding, packing, and or rolling always seem to vanish the second you're ready to take that first puff. Sounds like you don't have a lighter, bro. Fortunately, though, despite the numerous stereotypes that would suggest otherwise, stoners can be pretty dang resourceful, especially about their bud. So there are a lot of cool weed hacks that can make your whole high experience much simpler and even more enjoyable. If you're a marijuana enthusiast, then you already know that there's a vast wealth of weed wisdom out there to aid you with even the most ridiculous of pot-related problems. But whether you're a weed genius, you know how you could be a real weed genius? Link your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account and subscribe to my Twitch for free. I'll literally get Jeff Bezos weed money. Excuse me. But whether you're a weed genius, weed novice, or somewhere in between, like myself, there are certain pot hacks that are simple enough for any smoker to take advantage of. Wait, you're not even a genius? You're in between the novice and the genius? All right, let's read these hacks. Hack number 1, use a bobby pin to clean out ash of your bowl and declog your pipes. Like, there's an endless amount of pokers and god dang it, bobby pins. Like, say paperclip, right? More people have a paperclip lying around than a bobby pin, right? I'm a dude. I don't know where you get bobby pins. All right, maybe it's tips for the ladies. I can't even count how many times I've used one of my bobby pins to clean out the ash of a bowl or declog a pipe or a one-hitter. It's perfect. Like, if you have to declog a pipe, there's a ton of resin in there. Just clean it. Get some ISO. It's perfect because I pretty much always have a bobby pin handy. The only downside of this hack is if I need to declog my actual pipe instead of just my bowl, I have to straighten out and thus ruin my bobby pin to do it. But bobby pins are super cheap and incredibly effective at clearing passageways. Bobby pin. I mean, it makes sense. It's not gonna work. Tip number 2, keep a lip balm with your weed paraphernalia. Weed can dry my whole mouth out fast, and not having access to lip balm when that happens, especially when trying to initiate a makeout. What is it? What is this? Sip before you rip. Be actually hydrated. Don't mask your lack of hydration with lip balm. Are we planning for a makeout sesh? Can be pretty miserable, so I keep some lip balm wherever I keep my weed stuff. I also try to remember to keep some in my handbag and or pockets for when I'm smoking away from home. That way, when Cottonmouth turns my lips to sandpaper, the sweet, soothing solution is always within my grasp. Personally, I prefer mint flavor lip balm because it helps with dry lips as well as any unfortunate smoker's breath I might develop. And also, just because you won't find a much tastier mixture than good bud and a yummy mint. Oh, like menthol? What are we doing? 3, sunglasses too. Don't forget your sunglasses. I do most of my smoking indoors at night. I'm gonna show up with sunglasses. A chemical component in marijuana causes the blood vessels and eyeballs to dilate, so sunglasses are essential if I've been daytime smoking, then have to go out in public. It's so much easier to relax and enjoy my high when I don't have to worry about my eyes looking too red. Plus, UV rays are no joke, so keep a pair of shades in my handbag at all time. This tip is if you're going outside, wear sunglasses. That works if you're high or not. Like, wear sunglasses. If it's bright out, wear sunglasses. Who cares if you're high or not? It works anyway. Keep a pair of shades on you at all times, especially at night. Suck on candy or mints while you smoke. Personally, I'd give a Jolly Ranchers a try, but pretty much any kind of candy or mint will work well too. I just pop a treat in my mouth while I'm prepping my bowl bong joint blunt vape. Suck on it until I can really taste all its sweet and or soury goodness, then I keep it in my cheek while I puff. It's indescribably delicious and also helps combat both cottonmouth and the munchies. I mean, some stuff can make you, I guess, salivate or have more saliva production, like if you have candy in your mouth. But like, just sip before you rip and be hydrated. Eat the candy after. You ever take a big old fat, especially combusted rib with a piece of candy in your mouth and then it's like covered in resin and it's extra sticky? That's not fun. Use a clean penny and a pill bottle as a makeshift grinder. Losing and or misplacing my grinder sucks. This is for when you lose it? This should be for when you just don't have one. Like, who loses their grinder? If I have access to a penny, any kind of pill bottle, it doesn't have to keep me from getting lifted. Like, I don't have pill bottles lying around. I have more grinders lying around than pill bottles and pennies, I think. Maybe just me, I don't know. I clean the penny or whatever coin with rubbing alcohol first because money is notoriously gross. Then drop a nugget or two in an empty pill bottle with the clean penny, pop the bottle's lid into place, and the shake, voila. Yeah, I mean, you could just break it up by hand. It's not that serious. Smoke before meal times. This is a little bit controversial. Some people say that the meal will kill your high. Some people say that they can't eat a big meal unless they get high. Let's see what we're saying here. The munchies can be overpowering, but when I'm able to plan my highs around any meals, particularly if I just wait to smoke until I'm about to eat dinner, then I'm able to avoid the overindulging that is often associated with smoking marijuana. The food also tastes even more delicious, and I'm actually likely to have a better sense of when I'm full when I eat with a spirit of high mindfulness. What? Like, yeah, the food tastes better, but you're going to avoid overindulging when you're high? Like, if I do a 1 gram dab and I pull up to the Golden Corral, they're going to have to kick me out at some point. I'm destroying that place. What is this? I'm actually likely to have a better sense of when I'm full. I don't think that's true. When you're high, you're gonna have a better sense of when you're full. I think it's the opposite. I don't know. These tips are a little wild. Keep a backup stash somewhere. I'm by no means suggesting you should go all Ilana Wexler and hide the weed in your body cavities. All right, I just clicked the link. It's the Broad City episode where what's-her-face pulls some weed out of her hoo-ha. I don't know if you pull it out of your hoo-ha, if that's your backup stash. That might be your primary stash. Also, running out of weed isn't that big of a deal unless you're using it to treat the medical condition. They're like, keep a backup stash, but running out's no big deal. That said, I still think it's nice to have a backup stash sometimes, especially because in true stoner fashion, it's nice sometimes forget about it for a good while, then happen upon it at the most opportune time. Ah, yes, now that it's all dried out and not very enjoyable to smoke, I've found it. Just don't forget to store well. Mason jars are great. Keep it somewhere your pets and young relatives won't find it. Make your own bong out of plastic. All right, my advice on this is don't do this. Okay, so I've never actually made my own DIY bong, but it looks pretty easy. Plus, you know, reduce, reuse, recycle. I've never done this tip, but here's my tip for you. Guys, don't smoke out of plastic bongs. That's my advice. That's the hack right there. The hack, you don't want to smoke plastic? Don't smoke out of plastic pieces. There's 11 of these tips. We're only on 8. What is this? Keep lube handy, all right? Don't sit before you rib. Bust out the KY. While weed can actually make sex more enjoyable for many people, some report that it can also cause vaginal dryness. Wait. You're getting cotton mouth and cotton snatch from the weed? No. So in my experience, it's a good idea to keep a lube handy if you're planning to bong and bang. Like, how hard is it to drink water? How hard is it to be hydrated? You're gonna need lip balm, and you're gonna need candy, and you're gonna need lube. Just drink water. Personally, I love lube and would suggest you using it whether you're having sex while high or sober. I mean, this tip works like the sunglasses tip. If you got a dry gina, use the lube. If you're going into the sun, wear sunglasses. But since vaginal dryness is just the worst, stay stocked up on lube if you and your partner like to smoke before having sex. What are these tips? Create your own chill out mantra for when you're feeling paranoid. I like where this is going. Smoking weed rarely makes me feel paranoid, but I have gotten high and then freaked out super hard a couple times. And because of those experiences, I now have a mantra to calm myself down. What I like to tell myself is, everything is exactly the same as it was 5 minutes ago. You're just high. Feel free to repeat this to yourself if you're ever feeling freaked out after getting high, or make up your own mantra. Everything is exactly the same as it was 5 minutes ago. I need chapstick, lube, and candy for the smoke sesh. Don't forget the sunglasses. All right, real quick before we read the last tip. If you were high and you were too paranoid or something, what would your mantra be? Hit me in the comments with your mantra. I gotta know. All right, the last tip. It's gotta be the best one, right? Use a drop of honey to keep joints from burning too quickly. Don't smoke honey. Just don't do it. I've never tested this out myself. Okay, have you done any of these tips? I feel like you just wrote some stuff down. Mostly because I can't roll for shh. But I've heard that if you rub a drop of honey over the skin of a rolled joint, it helps prevent said doobie from burning too quickly. Also, it probably smells and tastes delicious. What are these hacks? You haven't done half of them. I never thought about that. You get dry mouth and dry crotch from smoking. Either way, I thought these were some really helpful hacks. I'm gonna try them all out. Which one was your favorite? If you want to get high with me, tune into the Twitch sesh. We go live every night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Be a genius and link that Amazon Prime to your Twitch. And look, while the tips aren't going to be as good as bring sunglasses and lube, I did make a video on 5 hacks to get even higher. Check out this video and have a lit day, my dudes. Don't forget the lube.